Welcome back to Healing Our Kindred Spirits. I am Donna Gardette, and thank you so much for listening. Throughout this special holiday series, we have been exploring the timeless messages and reflections found in beloved classics like It's a Wonderful Life, The Polar Express, Miracle on 34th Street, The Year Without a Santa Claus, Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus, and A Christmas Carol. All stories that remind us of hope, belief, kindness, and the quiet power of the human spirit. Along with each episode, I have also created a separate, gentle, original guided meditation moment. And these reflective meditations are completely standalone, so you don't need to listen to the episode first, but I hope you will. And they're simply an invitation to pause, breathe, and carry the message a little deeper into your own heart. You'll find the meditation episode immediately following this episode or before it, depending on how it was released, if and when you feel called to listen. I hope you will enjoy all of these episodes as much as I have enjoyed creating them. So let's begin. So if you're listening to these episodes in order of their release, this would be our final episode of our special holiday series. And again, I hope you have enjoyed them as much as I have had creating them. I don't have much of a voice left because we're talking 12 podcast episodes, including the meditations, as well as a separate meditation for the winter solstice. And remember, these episodes can and should be listened to any time of the year because the lessons and reflections within each episode are actually timeless. So I really do hope you'll enjoy them. So today I want to talk about a story that has endured for nearly 2 centuries. I'm talking about A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Now, I know you've likely seen many of its versions over the years, maybe the classic black and white film, the animated one, or even a modern adaptation. Or maybe you were fortunate to see a live play. Um, I remember in high school, it was required reading, and sometimes even in college. I had a wonderful high school English teacher that made Dickens and Shakespeare fun to learn. And when I was in 6th grade, I tried out for a part in the class production of A Christmas Carol. And being very shy and quiet, even back then, I didn't want a big role. And so I auditioned for Martha, who was Tiny Tim's older sister. I think I had about 3 lines. That was the extent of my acting career. I prefer to be behind the scenes, not front and center. This is why we do audio and not video. But no matter which version we encounter, its message remains timeless. It's not just a holiday story, but a mirror that reflects who we are and, more importantly, who we can become. So this story begins with a man hardened by life, Ebenezer Scrooge, whose world has grown small, cold, and consumed by fear and greed. Yet, at its heart, A Christmas Carol isn't just about one man's transformation. It's about the divine invitation each of us receives, especially at this time of the year, to awaken our hearts and remember what truly matters. We've all met our own ghosts, haven't we? The ghosts of our past, regrets we carry, words we wish we could take back, moments we replay in the quiet hours of the night, the ghosts of the present, where we sometimes go through the emotions, forgetting to look up and see the beauty around us. And then the ghosts of what could be, that subtle whisper that reminds us that life is precious and time is something that we can never get back. Each spirit in A Christmas Carol shows Scrooge a different reflection of himself, one that invites compassion, accountability, and faith. And what I love about this story, there's many things, but one thing that I do love about it is how it reminds us that redemption isn't reserved for the perfect. It's for the willing. We all have the ability to redeem ourselves, but you have to want it and you have to do the work. And spiritual awakening doesn't happen through grand gestures. It often begins with a quiet moment of perhaps realization, and even better yet, and more important, is the courage to change. When we think of Scrooge's transformation, we often focus on his joy at the end, his laughter, his generosity, his newfound love for life. But I want to pause on something else. The moment his heart cracks open, And not to take away from this work of art, which it is, but isn't it similar to how the Grinch stole Christmas when his heart grew 2 sizes? There are many movies that are correlations to this, but I just wanted to mention that. But we know it's that sacred space between despair and awakening where he finally sees how disconnected he's been, not just from others, but from the love that has always been available to him. He has always sabotaged everything that was good in his life. And I think sometimes we even do that ourselves. And now I have. What about you? And that to me is the spiritual heartbeat of the story. Because the truth is, no matter how closed off we become, there is always a spark of light waiting to be reignited. We're talking about faith, forgiveness, grace, love. They are not lost to time. They wait for us to remember. So I want to ask you this. If the spirits of past, present, and future visited you tonight, what do you think they would want you to see or remember? Let's sit with that question for a moment. I think that's why this story continues to move people. It reminds us that generosity of spirit, kindness, empathy, gratitude, those are the real miracles of Christmas. It's not about material gifts or perfection. It's about presence, presence. It's about seeing each other. It's about remembering that our actions ripple outward in ways we may never see. So maybe you've had that quote, Scrooge moment, unquote, quote, in your own life. A time when you shut yourself off because the world maybe was unkind or you were just tired. And then something or someone helped you see the world differently again. Maybe it was child's laughter or friend's forgiveness or the stillness of prayer that reminded you of grace. Those moments is where the magic lives. So the real message of A Christmas Carol isn't confined to the holiday season. It's an everyday invitation to soften where we've grown hard, to forgive where we've held on, to give when we can, not just financially, but through our presence, our time, and our compassion. When Scrooge wakes up on Christmas morning, reborn in spirit, he's not just celebrating the day, he's celebrating the rediscovery of his own humanity. And that's something each of us can do no matter the date on the calendar. Because in the end, the story isn't about ghosts at all, is it? It's about grace. So maybe this season we can take a moment to ask ourselves, where can I bring more kindness into my life? Who can I forgive, including myself? I ask you, what moments from your past still linger in your heart? Moments that maybe need forgiveness, understanding, or closure? And how can you live with a little more joy, maybe a little more faith, or maybe even a little more love in your life? Because like Scrooge, we all have the power to wake up one morning and say, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. And maybe that's what the story has been trying to teach us all along. That compassion, like the spirit of Christmas, never truly ends. So as we close this time together, may you remember that transformation does not arrive all at once. It comes quietly, in moments of honesty, in small choices to soften, and the courage to feel again. May you offer compassion to the parts of you that learn to protect in order to survive. May you forgive yourself for what you didn't know then, and honor the strength it took to arrive here now. If your heart feels full this season, may gratitude rest gently within you. If your heart feels heavy, may you know that grief and grace can exist side by side. May faith, however you define it, meet you where you are, not asking you to be more, only inviting you to be present. And as you move forward from this story, may you carry the true spirit of Christmas, not as a single day, but as a way of living the whole year through. Do it with kindness, with awareness, and with a heart willing to begin again. From my heart to yours, kindred spirit, may peace walk beside you. May love find you in the quiet moments you remember. And if you need a gentle reminder, you are never too much. And you are always, always enough.